This episode of the Acts of Geekery Podcast is brought to you by the sounds of the Sarlacc, over 1,000 years of audio for you to digest. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Acts of Geekery Podcast, episode 40. I'm Corey.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the Brothers Geek here to bring you all the geeky things in the world of geekdom.
Or the universe of geekdom.
Yeah.
Start
Holy
saying
crap.
that because
There's a lot.
we have all the geek news.
I know we... the sweet, soothing sounds.
All the geek news.
Is that your Billy D. Williams impersonation?
No, that's my I don't want to talk too loud voice.
Oh, okay. I know we always say that we have a lot of news, but this week is like ultimate info dump.
Oh, news and trailers and news and trailers and trailers and news.
And trailers about news and news about trailers.
Exactly.
Well, let's just go ahead and get into the news then.
I'm gonna show you something beautiful. Everyone screaming for mercy.
That's right, folks. News time. Oh, sorry about that.
Are we playing the guitar?
Wrong. It's the news.
It's the singing news.
We've got some sad news first off here.
We always start with deaths and birthdays.
Just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Birthdays aren't sad. Birthdays are good.
Well, some birthdays are just sad.
Why don't you go ahead and do the death one? I don't know much about this one.
So, the co-creator of characters such as Captain Britain and Psylocke, who are brother and sister, by the way.
I did know that.
And the first person ever to draw Wolverine, because he
cool.
worked on the Incredible Hulk comic for a long time,
Cool.
Herb Trimpe has died.
Oh, how old was he?
You know what? I went through this entire article. It's just his family said that he passed away. They didn't give an age or anything.
Huh.
So
maybe he didn't really die. Maybe he is Wolverine. And
there's like
he has to fake his death for every about 80 years. He has to die, and then he comes back as someone else.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
So next we'll have Trimp Herbie.
Yeah. Or
It's not nice to make fun of somebody's death like that.
Turb Hempry. But we have a birthday, and everyone's favorite wizard.
Gandalf?
Female wizard.
Oh, okay. The red lady from Game of Thrones, right?
No, she's no one's favorite.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson. She turned 25 on April 15th. Happy birthday, Emma.
Congratulations. A
Good.
quarter of a century.
Yeah, she's actually...
She's just a few weeks older than I am.
That's crazy.
And she's got so much more money than I do at this age.
What have you been doing with your life?
Apparently not
enough.
Being Hermione Granger.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I was. I would have been Hermione Granger. That's
Sorry,
fine.
you don't have the hair for it.
I really don't.
No. Everything else you're okay with, but not the hair.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about stuff that actually doesn't matter. Geek news.
Doesn't matter. I look at all the stuff happening during this week, geek related, and I go, we've got this trailer and this trailer and this news and this news and so much stuff, and then I go, man, what do normies do with their life?
Yeah, it's
because there's nothing for them to do. All this cool geek stuff.
Sports talk, sports and cars.
I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I don't know. Anyways,
well, let's start with DC. And if you're wondering where the big DC news is, well, we have a section for that. It's called Trailers and Videos.
yeah, we'll get to that.
So we're going to talk about Suicide Squad first. Mm-hmm. Both excited for it.
Yeah,
Super happy
they did
with
their
it.
reading last week.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. There's a photo of everyone or most of the cast there, which is cool.
And then Will Smith tweeted a picture, or somebody posted a picture online of his new hairdo for Deadshot, and he's bald. He went completely bald.
So I mean, he either looks like Will Smith or like Will Smith with slightly less hair, because he doesn't have a lot of hair.
Yeah,
and he's never been in a movie where he did have a lot of hair.
That's true. He's always kind of had
really short hair. Yeah, but cool. Yeah. I mean, he's getting into it. He probably wasn't nearly as scared of it as Jesse Eisenberg was.
He's just like, I'm
he's
better
just
than
like,
Jesse.
It's like whatever. Shave off.
Yep.
Done.
We also have that Wonder Woman has lost its old director, Michelle McLaren. There's a rumor going around she wanted Wonder Woman to have a tiger sidekick, and they just said no.
Are you serious?
I don't know if that's a real thing or
No
it was a
way.
rumor. It's
Wow.
definitely a rumor.
That's a dumb. First of all, why would someone come up with that as a rumor?
Yeah.
Unless there was some kind of basis in fact.
That's true.
A tiger sidekick. She probably saw Cheetah.
She-Ra.
Cheetah. Her enemy. Wonder Woman's enemy from the comics. And was like, Wonder Woman needs a tiger. No. Well, good.
No.
If that was actually true, good. We don't want her as a director.
And the new director that they got is Patty Jenkins, who was the former director of Thor 2.
Before...
No. She left the project because of creative differences.
Oh, man.
So she sounds like she's going to be hard to work with.
So we're taking someone who's, quote, hard to work with, rumored, and replacing them with someone who's hard to work with.
Yeah.
Oh, they better get this right or Wonder Woman's going to tank big time.
There was also a rumor floating around that Angelina Jolie was either going to direct Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel.
I hope neither.
Well, obviously not Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I hope neither. I don't think she has... Just because she's an actress doesn't... Or an actor, whatever. Just because of that doesn't mean you have the chops to be able to direct. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
I have not seen the movie that she directed.
Which is what?
It's Unbroken, I think is the one it was. Where it's
Was it
about
really
the soldier.
was it really Unbroken?
I think so.
Okay. 'Cause I heard that was good.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to eat my words. A crow for dinner.
Nom.
Nom, 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 nom.
Are you excited for the Green Lantern movie, Scott?
I'm excited that they're redoing it. So far, I haven't heard much about it that would make me go, yeah, great, or,
Well,
that sucks.
early reports are saying, and this is probably just rumor too, so bear in mind, take it with a grain of salt, that the movie will focus on John Stewart Green Lantern, not Hal Jordan. This begs the question, which Green Lantern will be in the Justice League movie?
Which is an interesting thing because I really wanted our Flash Green Lantern buddy cop movie because in the comics they are best friends and they do all kinds of stuff together and they hang out all the time.
I really wanted Flash Green Lantern buddy cop.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate if they're doing John Stewart.
Yeah.
Because then we don't get that dynamic between the two. Because John Stewart in the comic, he's not
unless
a
Hal
person.
Jordan is going to be in Justice League, then we get the dynamic between him and Flash.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see. Guess we'll see. Wasn't there a Flash Green Lantern team up movie?
No, that was in the rumored release thing that we talked about.
They shot that down.
Yeah, I think they changed a few.
And I know,
things.
and I've said this before. I don't think Tyrese Gibson has the acting chops for it, but he seems super excited, like you said, and he's been doing a lot of promo. To try to get himself as John Stewart.
You know what? What I've seen him in, he doesn't really play too much of a role in, so I can't really get a gauge of his acting talent.
Yeah, maybe the script will do good for him.
Who knows? And there's been a lot of people who were kind of like, oh, they can't act, and then suddenly they're all of a sudden the best actors in the world because they've been on Marvel projects. Like Chris Evans. What did we see him in before? Fantastic Four, which we didn't really like as a movie.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yeah, I mean, for a little bit there, and you're just kind of like, he's going to be Captain America, and he pulls it off.
Yep.
Chris Hemsworth, what did you see him in? That's the father of Captain Kirk.
I thought he was great in that.
Yeah.
I never once went.
Bad example.
I never once went, oh, yeah, he's not going to do good.
Mark Ruffalo, the guy from 17 again? Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I'd never heard of him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
So Constantine has had an interesting life cycle.
It has.
It was going to be canceled, then it's not going to be canceled. The debate has been up in the air. This week, somebody reported that Constantine was canceled because NBC released their summer and fall schedule.
Yeah, and he wasn't on it.
And they were like, oh my gosh, Constantine gone. And then the people came out and said, no, we're still deciding on Constantine. Relax. And
well, it's on one hand, it's good that they haven't just instantly canned it.
Yeah. So they are meeting to pitch season 2, the showrunners and everything, on April 27th. And then sometime in May, NBC Studios will decide whether or not to pick it up. So hopefully they do. I thought it was a fine show. It was getting its legs. It was getting better as it went on.
It was getting better, yes.
It definitely wasn't our favorite.
No, in fact, we're still a couple episodes behind. We're
Yeah.
3 or 4 episodes behind that we still need to catch up on. So
I feel like such a bad geek when I hear something like that.
yeah, we can't. I mean, it'd be different if we didn't have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Outside of our geek life.
If you would like to donate,
Become our Patreon so we can do this full-time and report.
that'd be cool.
But yeah, it'd be different if we didn't have other obligations. If all we did for work was this, then yeah, we would be up on all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I mean, the minute it came out, we'd sit down and watch it.
Yep.
I mean,
We would watch
so-
it real time, live tweet it,
Yep.
all that stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. Scott, why don't you talk about this next one?
Okay. So everyone loves world records.
A slinky? Oh wait, world
Everyone-
records.
yeah, everyone loves slinkies, too.
Everyone's a slinky.
Everyone loves world records and setting them and breaking them and stuff like that. That's always a lot of fun, even for
I
stupid
am the
things.
world record holder for most eye blinks in a single second.
Okay,
One,
one.
just like everybody else in the entire world.
You could blink more than that.
Oh no, my life is a lie.
That's true. Even
You're right.
Anyway, even dumb world records, like most eye blinks in a single second.
Fattest man.
Yeah, everyone loves them. Well, a group of cosplayers got together and decided they wanted to set the Guinness World Record for most people dressed as DC Comics superheroes. And holy crap, it looks awesome. And these are not crappy costumes like you would buy for Halloween. I mean, these are nice costumes. Yeah. I pulled up the main picture and I showed it to you and I said, look, that girl in Wonder Woman costume looks better than Gal Gadot in her costume.
Yes.
And this girl doesn't have a multi-million-dollar franchise to back her.
Modeling contract and whatnot.
So good for those guys.
They
Like,
also
bravo.
broke the world record for most scantily clad women, which really pissed off Vegas because they previously held the record.
Is that true? I didn't read that
No,
far
that's-
into the article.
It sounds true though.
Yeah,
That could be something like
most Zatanas.
yeah, most Zatanna.
So there you go. That was cool. I thought it was cool. Cool geek news. Everyone loves dressing up,
Absolutely.
and if you don't, why not?
What's your problem?
What's the problem? You don't like the role play?
All right.
Your poor wife and or husband.
Enough of that DC crap. Let's talk about what really
Hey, whoa,
matters.
whoa, you watch your mouth.
Marvel. It's Marvel time, Scott. You back off.
Let's marvel at this news.
The first cut of Age of Ultron, Joss Whedon's first cut of it, was 3.5 hours long.
I hope they release it as a director's
I
cut.
would watch it. I would have
yeah.
watched that in the theater.
I would too.
That would have been. I mean, that's completely unrealistic.
Hey, we can put up with a 3-hour Hobbit, which has not as nearly as much content as something like this could. So yeah, this would be an easy watch.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get a director's cut of that. That'll be exciting.
Which means guess what's going to happen? It's going to come out. I'm going to buy it, and then it's going to come out and have the director's cut. I'm going to buy that, and then it's going to come out and have the director's cut plus all the scenes that didn't make it in.
Plus some extra 10-second footage of Scarlet Witch dancing, and
Josh,
you're like, yes, sure.
Josh, do you just want my bank account information? I'm just going to send it to you.
Send an email to pleasedatemybrother@gmail.com.
That's even a new one. You keep
Yeah,
changing.
keep
how
changing
many
it.
how many email addresses do you have?
I like 10 or something.
All right. So speaking of movies,
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo, our Hulk right now. He has
You
come
sounded
out,
like you were Jewish there.
yeah,
Or actually, no, I think Arabic Jewish. I guess it's both.
yeah, a little.
They both.
He came out a little while ago last week and talked how he's really excited. He would love to do a solo Hulk movie, something like Planet Hulk or World War Hulk or something like that, which would be great. However, he came out later and said, I'm excited for it, but don't get too excited because Universal still owns the rights to solo Hulk movies, which is the weirdest kind of rights thing I've seen.
It's especially weird because usually with Marvel, their rights things are you have to come out with a movie every 2 years,
or you lose it.
And they haven't come out with a Hulk movie in over 8 years.
Yeah. And Marvel made the last solo Hulk movie.
Yeah.
It was not Universal. So I don't know
No.
what the deal is.
Marvel was in conjecture with Universal.
Oh.
Maybe because they did Avengers, Universal got to keep the rights for that or something.
Yeah, I don't know. So we may or may not ever see a solo Hulk movie, or at least not in a long time, which is bummer. So thanks a lot, Universal.
What are you doing?
Either give the Hulk rights back to Marvel,
What
or
does
make a new
Universal
movie.
even have though?
Then they have
Jurassic World.
They had
I
Namor
think.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
They had
Well,
Namor's
I don't
rights.
mean just Marvel.
Oh,
I mean
okay.
like general franchises. What does Universal do these days? And I think Jurassic World is theirs. Maybe.
And lots of other movies that probably aren't up our alley.
Reboots.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is
Our new Deadpool.
he is Deadpool. Sorry guys, he's Deadpool.
This story proves it
yes,
as well.
he was hit by a car and came out of it not injured, or maybe he was injured and he just healed himself really fast.
That's probably what happened.
He is that. So if you ever wonder like what kind of guy Ryan Reynolds is, he's the kind of guy who can get hit by a car and not get hurt.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
so if you see Ryan Reynolds on the street, run him over. He'll be fine.
I like how you put the link for Ryan Reynolds as Olivia Munn.
Oh, whoops, that was my bad. You know what? We're just gonna delete that. Just delete it.
More Deadpool news.
Yes, Colossus is going to be in Deadpool.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Mutant.
One who doesn't get a
X-Men.
lot of play in the X-Men
No, he
franchise,
doesn't.
unfortunately. And when he does, they make him out to be a lot weaker than he is. What I wanted to talk about with this was that in the first draft script that got leaked basically on the internet, Colossus was Deadpool's embodiment of his good conscience.
Okay.
Yeah, like out of every mutant and everything, he saw Colossus as his good conscience.
So it just shows you how messed up Deadpool is.
Yeah.
Not that Colossus is a bad person.
No, it's just kind of like, okay, random person. Really,
Yeah.
like to us, it just seems completely random. So I hope that they're going that same route. Where Colossus
someone
is gonna show up.
tweeted to the director or one of the producers for Deadpool and said, "Hey, I saw so and so on set, the guy that plays Colossus, and he is huge." And the director tweeted back, "Yes, and he'll also be much bigger in the movie."
Yay!
Winky face. So yeah, we get to see
when
more
directors are
Colossus.
using emojis, we're in a weird territory.
When old people use emojis, I'm getting up to that point where I might not be young enough anymore to use emojis. So
I do get kind of nervous when you send them to me. I'm like,
I'm gonna start sending all kinds of them.
weird. You send me the weird adult ones, and it's kind of confusing.
Download the adult emojis and send them
adult
to you.
emojis
You want to do what with my what?
in a flower.
and an eggplant. Why'd you put an eggplant in there?
There's an eggplant emoji. I really hope there is.
I have one on my phone.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last time I used it was I don't know. Is this like a weird cucumber to someone as a joke? And they're like, no, that's an eggplant.
Which is in essence a weird
Weird purple cucumber.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the world of Netflix and their side of Marvel.
Which right now,
Amazing. Great. Daredevil. We finished the series. Scott, do you want to quick review it? Just geek card rating.
quickie review, 5 out of 5.
Okay.
I can't say enough good about this.
4.5 out of 5.
Okay. What don't you like?
The problem that I have with it is, so when you're doing TV shows, you always have the surprise ending at the end, you know? You always have that thing at the end that hooks people for the next episode.
Right.
And it's something that people just have to accept. It's going to happen. But the problem is when you get a show where you unleash all 13 episodes at once, you don't have to end every episode
With a cliffhanger.
with somebody dying.
Yeah, sure.
Because somebody dies at the end of pretty much every episode, and you're just like, you know that the last 2 minutes are coming, and you're just like, somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to die.
You know what? This actually brought up a really good thing that I don't like about it. A certain character passes away or gets killed that I don't think should have been killed. So I'm going to actually drop it down to 4.5 as well.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's just amazing. It's an amazing show, and everyone I've talked to that I told them, hey, go watch this, they've come back, even if they're not a Marvel fan, and said, holy crap, awesome.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, the whole thing that we were just talking about, it's nitpicking. Because honestly, if it were an episode a week, then yes, it would work just fine. If we were to watch this one episode a week, at the end of the episode, we would have had the big dramatic death. It would have been like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Okay, let's move on to the next episode. Because the first 2 or 3 episodes, we did that. Yeah. Somebody died, or something big happened, and we're like, oh great. But by the 10th episode and the death that you were talking about, I was just kind of like, I'm so sick of somebody dying at the end of this.
Well, and to put that someone brought up a good point to me. When you release all the episodes like that, you can actually do scenes and episodes where there's lots of talking and lots of character development and background. I mean, the episode Stick.
Yeah.
With the little kid and the other blind guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like 20 minutes of them talking on a park bench.
Yeah.
And you can't do that in a regular TV show.
That was one of the greatest scenes out there.
Because you've got commercials and you've got all this crap and you've got to try to get people interested. Well, when you've got all the episodes already out, it's just basically a big 13-hour-long movie.
Yeah, and I remember reading about this. One of my webcomic guys who does like a page every couple weeks or whatever, and he says that at the end of every page he has to do a punchline because you got to make people laugh.
Yeah.
You got to have them like the comic. Well, when he started writing a prequel book for what he was doing, he said suddenly I had a story that I didn't have to write the punchline for. Yeah. Because it was a whole new story. I could set up a 2 or 3 page thing.
It didn't have to be exactly. It didn't have to be a self-contained page.
And I think Netflix needs to learn that as well.
And they kind of did with Daredevil. They're
a little bit. They're still falling into that trap.
I'm sure. But it's a comic book show, and so they've got to try to make it catchy.
Yeah. No.
And also, we were marathoning it as quickly as possible. A lot of people don't. A lot of people will watch 1 or 2 episodes, and then they won't watch it for like 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah, they'll be like, okay, we'll see the next episodes next week.
So having a death at the end or something that catches you for the next one is probably not a bad idea because people are still going to go back and watch it. So I don't know. Like you said, it does feel like a little nitpicky, but I can see your point.
Yeah. So there's our quick review of Daredevil. But why are we even talking about it other than to review the rest of it? Well, apparently it is the second most pirated show in the world now.
That is surprising to me.
Yeah.
One, because getting shows off Netflix, and believe me when I tell you this, is very, very hard to do.
Not that we would say that we do anything like that. We don't want to incriminate.
I've never. I'm gonna be honest. I tried it before.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it'd be nice to have a copy of this show, and I tried to record it, and it was really, really tough.
Okay.
It was like I had to use like a screen capture program, and it was really crappy quality, and so someone was able to do it, which means someone's really good at it.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, or has a lot of time. But that's surprising because it's $8 a month.
Yeah,
8.
It's really not that expensive.
I find that much change like on the train and walking to work and back. Man, I find that much a month.
Yeah, just get it.
Find a friend that will split it 50-50
I know it's like
with
it's
you.
like who like out of 10 people, I guarantee you 6 at least have Netflix
and just
streaming.
say, hey, look, I do this with my sister, with our younger sister. I say, you let me use your Hulu account, which is also $8, and I'll let her use my Netflix account.
Which Hulu,
and so essentially, I'm paying $4 for Netflix and $4 for Hulu at the same time.
To be honest, I have a bone to pick with Hulu because charging somebody $8 and then forcing them to watch ads still is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Although they do get a lot of new shows the day of or the day after, which is kind of cool if you really want to watch them.
So we were talking about which series comes next in the Netflix.
Yeah, and we weren't sure.
I am sure now.
You are sure now?
It is AKA Jessica Jones, which is supposed to release late 2015 or early 2016.
Awesome. So probably around December, maybe January, February.
Yep.
Sounds cool.
Netflix, I think, came out and said we're not releasing until 2016, but the showrunners came out and said, hold off on that. We're working on it.
Alrighty. But the reason we're discussing that is,
again, why the heck do we talk about this?
Is because there's been pictures that were released of Luke Cage, played by Mike Coulter, arriving on set on a motorcycle and part of a scene, not just him showing up. I mean, he was actually in a scene, so that's cool. Luke Cage, our Power Man, will be in AKA Jessica Jones. He may not have his powers yet, or he may not display them, but at least his name will be out there, and you'll get to know his face before his one comes out.
We also got some shots of David Tennant on set as the Purple Man.
Oh, okay.
And there's been a lot of questions about whether or not they'll give him purple skin and whatnot. The sets don't show him in purple skin, but they can CG that later.
Yeah.
But what he is wearing is a full purple suit.
Okay.
Purple shirt, pants, tie, everything. So that's at least playing to the comic.
So that means Jessica Jones will be displaying Luke Cage, and I'm pretty sure the next season of Daredevil, if they do it, will kind of do Iron Fist.
Because
they've already teased it in the show.
I think we've gotten enough teasing from Iron Fist and the first season, because they're not going to come out with the second season of Daredevil until Iron Fist is done, as far as I know.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So what we'll see the references from Daredevil lead into the first season of Iron Fist. So,
all right. So there's your DC and Marvel news for this week. Besides that one DC thing we'll talk about a little later in the trailers and videos.
Mm-hmm. And the one Marvel thing we'll talk about a little bit later in the trailers and videos. In other news, Joss Whedon is being sued over Cabin in the Woods.
If you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods,
best horror movie
ever. And we're not talking about the most gory or the most gruesome or the most scary. It takes everything that you like from other movies or everything that you laugh about because it's so dumb in other horror movies and puts it into one movie and makes it fantastic.
It's so well put
I've
together.
never showed this to a person that didn't end up loving it at the end.
So the concept behind it, and this, okay, if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, it's on Netflix, so you've got no excuse.
Yep. Unless you don't have Netflix.
Yeah, which
then
go
you're probably
find
pirating
one of your 6 friends who does.
Or you're probably pirating Daredevil already, so you might as well pirate this.
Yeah. But if you have not heard it, or if you have not seen this movie, skip ahead maybe a minute, because I'm going to spoil the plot for you right now.
Okay.
The basic plot for this movie is that these kids are going up to a cabin in the woods, and it turns out that this is a ritual sacrifice set in this cabin where an underground facility is unleashing horror monsters on them to be killed so that the old gods would be appeased.
Yeah, and they don't burst up out of the world and kill everyone.
Right. Welcome back, people who didn't want to hear the spoilers.
Yep.
So apparently there was a book out there, and I have to get the guy's name, so this might just take a moment.
The guy is in the writer of the book.
writer, yes. So, and Lionsgate is also being sued in this. So,
well, because they own the rights to it, I'm sure.
Peter Gallagher.
Peter Dinklage?
Gallagher.
Oh,
like the guy who smashes watermelons. He claims that the Cabin in the Woods is taken directly from his 2006 novel, The Little White Trip, A Night in the Pines, which tells pretty much the same story. Now, why he says that this is significant is because he self-published this book a little bit ago, and he was selling it on the street near where Joss Whedon and somebody else lived. He was approached by several... So, Goddard, whoever Goddard is. Only short distance from where Whedon and Goddard live and work. He also claims that he was approached by several industry producers who were interested in the book, but does not specifically list Whedon or Mutant Enemy among them.
Okay.
Which Mutant Enemy is Joss Whedon's company.
Yeah.
So he is suing, saying that they're plagiarizing him and everything.
You know, I love Joss Whedon. It's possible that this is plagiarized.
Yeah.
Someone may have found it. Some slimy executive somewhere picked up the book, read it, or someone recommended it to him, and he decided, let's make a movie out of it. Well, this guy's self-published. He doesn't really have a big backing. He's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So whatever. So the guy's suing for $10 million in damages. May or may not be too much. Don't know. Or we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Chances are he won't win because he doesn't have millions of dollars of lawyers.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he is going to get a lot of publicity now, and in fact, just seeing this, I actually want to pick that book up and read it and see if it's anywhere close.
Absolutely.
So there you go, Mr. So-and-so. I will be buying your book for probably $5 to $10 or whatever it costs.
We can find out, actually. Amazon.com.
No kidding. I just downloaded my Kindle right now. Yep. I'm on a podcast. Little something in the woods.
White Trip. A Night in the Pines.
Yeah, so it probably is going to explode. Yeah, it doesn't have...
Paperback, $15.
Yeah, it doesn't have the greatest reviews so far.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's see.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. Anyways, but yeah, he could either be doing this for publicity.
Oh, this description is so terrible. Like, this makes me not want him to win. They say that killing with a knife is the sex of murder. Two bodies coming together, opening the skin of another, the heat produced and lost by it all. This sounds like somebody looked at that script, went, ugh, and threw it away if it were actually anything to do with that book.
I don't know.
Anyway, let's talk about.
We shall see.
Yeah, let's talk about lighter things. Mostly.
I get it. Light.
Yeah, like cycles of light.
And suits that have lights all over them.
And Daft Punk.
Yeah, Daft Punk indeed.
Yep. So
we're talking about Tron, people.
Yep, Tron 3 is coming, and the girl. Who's the girl? What is her name?
Korra.
No, who's the actress that plays her?
Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde has said that that Tron 3 will explore Korra in the real world.
Because she did. She came back with him. She's able to leave the computer world.
That will be interesting, and I'm sure they'll end up back in the Tron world.
A lot of people hated Tron Legacy. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. The music behind it, the soundtrack was amazing.
You know what?
And it was a little boring while they were on the train. Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it.
Oh, we should go rewatch it then.
I don't think that
it's got Garrett Hedlund, which is our new Captain Hook from the movie Pan that's coming out. And he's got a Neva movie coming.
Don't just stop, please.
Every time I say that, Corey goes, "Oh,
I literally cringe." I can't even in a movie like Daredevil, the kid actor in Daredevil, he wasn't bad, but because he was a kid actor, I was just like,
I hate you so much. Corey is he's ageist against kids, against children in movies.
I am ageist. Yep. Furious 7 has crossed the $1 billion mark worldwide and is among the top 10 grossest movies. Is that how you worldwide?
No. Top 10 most grossing movies.
Most grossing. Oh, I missed the word there.
Not grossest. Grossest.
It's disgusting.
That's a whole
disgusting.
That's a whole other category of movies that are the grossest.
Most horror movies.
Yeah, Human Centipede for one.
Yep.
They have made $1.152 billion worldwide so far. Nice. It is now ranked number 7 most grossing movie of all time. So congratulations.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it doesn't bother me nearly as much as like Transformers 4 because that was just pure garbage.
Yeah.
This is actually fun. I had a lot of fun watching it. Corey didn't like it as much, but I thought it was that kind of fun.
movie. I'm really not a Furious fan.
Hi, it ranks. Furious 7 is now number 7.
Why did we lead with that? That would have been more entertaining.
We're love comedy bronze.
I love the title of this next article you have.
Did someone say chimichanga?
Changa. I always say changa.
Okay.
I know it's chimichanga, but
that's fine.
It's funny.
Chimichanga.
Well, and so as far as I know, this is a Funko Pop thing, right?
Yes. So Funko, the company that makes all of our favorite little 3-inch and 6-inch tall Funko Pops, just released.
Everybody should have one.
Just released a companion piece to Daredevil Funko Pop.
Deadpool.
His Daredevil. Deadpool. Deaddevil. Sorry, Deadpool. A companion piece to him. It is Deadpool's truck, and it's a chimichanga taco truck. And I think it's hilarious. I thought it was a fun thing.
Yep.
You know,
not quite your pick of the week though.
No. I got my pick of the week, but and then other toys.
Yeah,
other toys. You should open up this link right here.
Okay.
So we talk about Hulkbusters, and they keep coming out with more and more and more different ones. This Hulkbuster is
a 4-foot tall animatronic figure.
Yes, 4 foot tall animatronic, and if you scroll down just a little bit, there's a video, and in the video it shows the Hulkbuster chest piece part opening up to reveal Iron Man inside, and it is super cool. The whole thing just pops open and comes apart.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, right. Is that sweet or what?
That is pretty cool.
And that's just the prototype.
The light comes on.
Yeah. As soon as it closes up, the light lights up.
Yeah.
And ignites. The chest piece does.
Oh.
So, Hulkbuster not only busts Hulks, he busts your wallet as well.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely.
Yep. I thought that was really cool.
That is actually very cool.
Because
the faceplate comes down and everything.
Everything does.
Wow. I wish you guys at home could see that.
We could probably post a link to it.
Probably.
If not, just type in animatronic Hulkbuster.
Hostbuster.
I cannot talk today. That's okay though. This podcast is not. It's more for entertainment and less for.
Yeah.
Are
you looking
guttural,
for serious?
What do they call that? Guttural accuracy.
Guttural
language.
No, that would be
linguistic accuracy.
Accuracy.
I
don't know what you're saying.
said we're more for comedy,
Words.
not words and stuff and things.
Something cool.
Something cool, exactly.
Let's talk about a woman we both find very lovely.
Yes.
The wonderful Katie Sackhoff.
Oh yes, Starbuck.
Mm-hmm.
Not the coffee place.
She's Kerrigan too, isn't she? Is she Kerrigan?
No. That's Trisha Helfer.
Thank you. Katie Sackhoff, wonderful in Battlestar Galactica. Well, she is making her own sci-fi series, and she's starring in it. So this is kind of casting couch, but we're not quite there yet.
Yep.
The series is called Rain, and it's basically a look at what happens when we've depleted all of our oil, when the ozone layer's, gone, all that kind of
so it's
stuff.
Mad Max.
It's kind of Mad Maxy.
Yeah, okay. Post-apocalyptic is what it sounds like.
That's pretty much what it looked like when I was reading the
desert
description.
planet stuff, right?
I don't know anything about that specifically, but
cool.
She's been developing it, so that's really cool.
Now it says sci-fi, but it's spelled correctly. So is it on Syfy? Or is that going to be on a different channel? Or do we not know yet?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because
I just assumed it was Syfy.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually where stuff like this goes. Oh, well, she's currently in. Doesn't say.
No. I mean,
doesn't say. That's okay. I hope it doesn't go on Syfy because that's kind of where stuff goes to die nowadays.
pretty much. If there's a sci-fi thing, it goes there to die.
So. Hopefully it goes on somewhere cool. A&E would be good. AMC would be another good place to go because they're getting real popular now.
Yeah, I mean, and they need more content anyway. So.
Yep.
Because Better Call Saul and The Walking Dead are pretty much their only things.
Yeah. So yet another reason to get Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
To spend your $8 a month.
A new How to Train Your Dragon series, which I hear the Riders of Berk series, which is the one that came... before it, the TV series,
cartoon TV series.
I hear it's really good,
and
it's surprisingly good for TV.
It's got 3D animation, but not. It's pretty good. Better, like Clone Wars are better.
Yeah,
as far as quality
I would say
goes,
better than
probably better than Clone Wars. Clone Wars has a distinct style, though.
That's the problem that I have with Clone Wars is their style is just it. Their style is kind of to look crappy, in my opinion.
You get used to it. You have to watch more than like few episodes. I watched about half a season, and then I started getting to the point where I really liked it.
If there's, I don't know, I never really liked the idea of a series where the main thing on it is you'll get used to it. like anime. If somebody's like, you should check out this anime, and I watched the first episode, and I'm like, it's nothing but like an old man perving on girls, and they're like, oh, don't worry, you'll get used to it. No, I don't want to get used to something like that.
Well, it's like beer. Everyone says beer is an acquired taste. You'll get used to it. Lobster? Do you like lobster?
I don't know.
You don't know? You never had lobster?
I've had lobster before. I couldn't give you a good opinion.
A lot of people say the same thing about lobster. It's an acquired taste. But it's good. So, anyways, there's a new one called Dragons Race to the Edge coming out.
Means the edge of the map, basically. June 26th. Wow, that's pretty close.
Yeah, right. Pretty right away. And they're going to release the full season on Netflix.
I might have to watch it. I'm a huge fan of How to Train Your Dragon and anything to do with it.
Yeah, I think that's one of DreamWorks' best. So,
Scott, this should have been in the Marvel news.
I know. I
totally.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But James Gunn says that Awesome Mix 2 for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or Guardians 3000, I believe is the working title.
That's the working title, yeah.
Which could just mean that's what they're calling it.
That's just to throw everyone off. It's because they knew it would get leaked, and so they're like, let's make it Guardians 3000, and everyone will think it's actually set in the future.
Out.
No, it's not set in the future.
It's like there's not enough that the internet's freaking out about already this
They're
week.
not going to get rid of Groot, Star-Lord, Drax, Gamora, all these that everyone already loves for people that you have no idea who they are.
Exactly.
From the 3000 series.
But the soundtrack, Awesome Mix 2 will reportedly be better and more awesomer.
That's what I put. That was me. It'll be more awesomer than Awesome Mix 1.
And this is coming from James Gunn, the director, which, okay, so we had a lot of these this week where so-and-so came out and said that Spider-Man will be not what people expect, or, J.J. Abrams comes out and says this Star Wars is the best yet.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff, it's okay to talk about it and be like, yeah, this guy says this is going to be good, but really, they're paid to do this.
I understand, and they also have to promote their own stuff.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams isn't going to come out and go, you can take or leave this Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It's really not my best work.
Yeah, so James Gunn says it's going to be great, and you know what? the first one, when it got all the song lists got released before the movie, I went and listened to it, and it took me a little bit. I didn't even like it.
You had to get used to it.
I had to get used to it. Yeah, exactly. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, fell in love with the soundtrack.
And I think that's the point right there, is because you're listening to it and you're like, some of these songs, like Cherry Bomb, not a very good song. I'm sorry to say.
And that's actually one of the ones that I liked.
No, I don't think that's a good song at all, to be honest. But when you put it with the movie and you were like, so you listen to the soundtrack the first time without watching the movie, you're like, okay, all right, that's a pretty, and that's, an 80s soundtrack, an 80s mix. Then you watch the movie and you're like, oh my gosh, that song goes here, that song goes there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Every time you hear those songs, every time I hear Come and Get Your Love, it just takes me back to that first scene. And from that point on, whenever you listen to the soundtrack, you're just like, this whole thing is amazing.
Yeah, and let me tell you, we've had many a nights of playing video games while that soundtrack's playing in the background. So
it's pretty
good.
fun.
We like it.
Yep. It's good Mario Kart music. All right, let's go ahead and get into the casting couch. My favorite portion of the news, just because Scott doesn't like the name.
Let's talk about Preacher. One of the most, I guess, the most news articles have come out about Preacher, at least for the casting part of it.
Yeah.
They've been just like, bam, bam, bam. We've got the guy that plays Arseface. We've got the angel that's supposed to be, whatever, and a couple others that have come out that we obviously, I've never read Preacher.
And we've talked about Dominic Cooper as Preacher, like that he was in talks for it, and then he was in final talks for it. Well, now he is confirmed as Preacher.
He is playing Jesse Custer. Jesse Custer is the name of the main character in Preacher. He's the one that he's the offspring of an angel and a demon. And he basically has they call it the powers called the Word of God. He can pretty much tell anyone to do anything, and they'll do it. So I don't know. And we know Dominic Cooper actually is a really good actor. He did a great job playing Tony Stark's father, Howard Stark, in both Iron Man
and Peggy Carter, or Agent Carter.
Agent Carter,
Not Iron Man though.
Not Iron Man. Captain America.
Captain America.
Yep.
We also have that Elizabeth Perkins has been cast in Preacher as Jesse's mom.
I didn't recognize the name, but I did recognize the face.
The name sounds familiar to me, and I'm sure as soon as I see the face.
Elizabeth Perkins, when you've seen her before in other stuff, she's been in Weeds a little bit.
Okay.
So she's just kind of a TV actor.
She was in Big and Finding Nemo.
A couple other things. So,
okay.
Yeah,
All right, yeah. No, good.
Just another TV actor. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling has been added to the Blade Runner sequel cast.
And a lot of people were not sure how to feel about this.
Really?
Because Ryan Gosling, a lot of people just think of him as just the pretty boy, and he actually is a really good actor. He's got a lot of movies that I've seen that aren't, Nicholas Spark-based movies or whatever.
He's been good in them.
He's been really good.
I would say the same goes for Channing Tatum, who gets seen as nothing but eye candy. Magic Mike 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
Magic Mike Extra Large.
Or something like that.
Yeah. But
he's actually really funny.
Oh my gosh, he's so good. I love him in She's the Man, the first place I ever saw him, which he was great in that. And then we just watched 22 Jump Street.
Yes.
I haven't seen 21 yet, and I want to, because Casey and I have been quoting it all weekend, quoting 22 Jump Street, that is.
I personally thought 21 Jump Street was much funnier than 22.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely have
But
to.
Ryan Gosling added to Blade Runner, so we don't know what he's going to play or who he's going to play. Good guy, bad guy. Whether or not he's going to be a pal to Harrison Ford or going to be against him. So I guess we'll find out.
We'll have to find out. Bill Pullman and Judd Hirsch are returning for Independence Day 2.
And those are kind of known names. I had to look at their faces to really
Bill
see
Pullman's the president.
Yeah, and then when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I know exactly who they are. But they're going to be back for Independence Day 2.
Good on. I'm not really excited.
What's
for
his name? What's his name? The Hello Boys, I'm Back. He's obviously dead in the show, but he's not
Quaid.
Randy Quaid. He's not coming back because he's hiding in Canada.
Did you watch that video? No. Okay,
hiding away from the government. So
because they think he's trying to assassinate him.
Apparently, yeah.
And then
he's crazy.
Last but certainly not least, the article that Scott spoiled a little bit earlier with the Deadpool. Olivia Munn has been cast as Psylocke for Age of Ultron.
And for a long time, you kept asking me who this was. Like who?
Yeah.
Who? And now you've seen her enough.
No, actually, I really don't remember.
I'm going to say one thing, and you may or may not. Ghost tits. You remember the spoof on YouTube of that where he wakes up, the guy wakes up one day and his wife, her boobs are gone, and it's just like this funny joke about like he's like, no, you had them, I swear. She's like, no, I've always been this way. But yeah, and she was also on Attack the Show or Attack the Block, I think.
Attack the Show.
Yeah,
Attack of the Show.
Attack of the Show.
Magic Mike, Iron Man 2. Who is she in Iron Man 2? What?
I don't know.
What?
She was Georgina in Mordecai.
Oh, she's the girl in Ride Along.
In Mordecai, she's the
nympho.
The nymphomaniac or whatever.
Magic Mike.
So I mean, she's been in a lot of stuff.
Chess Roberts?
I don't remember.
I do not know who that is. Yeah. That is really disconcerting.
She's a very beautiful woman, and she's actually
kind of a forgettable face.
She's got not to me.
I know.
You're
not looking at her face.
Anyway, no, I'm looking at her face, and that's what I was going to say. She actually has Psylocke face. She's got dark hair, dark eyeshadow. She always wears dark eyeshadow.
Yep.
Dark eyebrows.
She definitely does look the part. So.
Yeah, and anyways, and the reason we're talking about that, she's been cast for her, but then apparently there's been a couple pictures of her leaked where she may be teasing the outfit, and I'm up in the air on that. Don't know. We don't know what her outfit's going to be for Age of Apocalypse, so I guess we'll find out.
We will find out. But first, let's go ahead and get into the real important stuff with trailers and videos.
You want to run this ship? Yes. Well, you can't.
You want to run this podcast?
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
Okay, you can take trailers and videos then.
All right. So, we're going to talk about all the Age of Ultron TV spots. And there's a lot of them.
Yep.
So go watch them.
Yep.
We're not reviewing them anymore.
Nope.
That's... Sorry to get you interested in them.
There's been like 10 out this week. We're not even going to link them when we do this. Nope. It's just there's just so many of them, and
I'm getting to the point where I don't care anymore.
Well,
I care, but I don't care.
You don't want to spoil yourself.
Yep, exactly.
And we know that we haven't seen more than probably 10 minutes of
guess what, Corey?
What?
They have 3.5 hours of the movie.
That's true. I did hear... I forgot to put this down. The girl in that like takes off her robe as she's going into the water.
Yeah,
she was cut from the movie.
Oh, okay. The mystery girl that no one knows.
Yeah, and everybody was like, why'd you cut out Black Panther's sister or whoever they thought it was? And Joss Whedon came out and said, that's nobody, by the way. It's kind of a dream sequence thing.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. So,
all right, so we're not going to talk about them or review them because we didn't even watch them. I don't watch them. I clicked the like button on Facebook for them, and then I just go on.
And too much other stuff came out this week for us to
Let's
worry
talk
about
probably the biggest news this week, the biggest trailer that came out.
No. I would say second biggest, but go on.
Second biggest. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Force Awakens trailer 2. Well, actually, I should say not trailer 2 because it's still technically
a teaser
2 is what it says.
Well, that's the thing is that feels like a trailer to me.
And holy crap, it gave me chills.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, come on, guys. One line, Chewie.
We're home.
We're home. Yes. Holy crap!
Both this and the next one have great one-liners.
I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, I watch it, and I've watched it like 12 times already, and I still get chills watching it every time.
I can tell you how to explain it, Scott.
Okay.
How about $2 billion?
Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. So, because the trailer came out, it has added $2 billion to Disney's value.
Like stock market and everything like that. Because people probably saw the trailer and they went,
holy crap.
I gotta buy Disney.
Well, and what that did, and if you ever invest and you follow stocks, a lot of it's based on a rumor and what they think is going to happen to the company. So basically, they saw this trailer and saw how popular the trailer was and how positive it was, and so they now value Disney at $2 billion more than it was the day before. That is amazing.
Do you know how much it cost for them to get Star Wars? $4 billion. They've already made half of it.
They already made half of their money back. And you know what? They'll make probably 3 or 4 times their money back by the time this is done. Star Wars, I bet you, is going to be the top grossing movie of all time.
Yeah.
Higher than Age of Ultron, higher than Avengers, higher than Titanic, higher than Avatar, everything.
Yeah.
It's going to blow all of them out of the water.
It's so big that J.J. Abrams can go out and buy pizza for everybody standing in line to get into the Star Wars celebration.
Yes.
Which he did.
Which awesome.
Yeah.
He went and bought pizza for everyone standing in line for the Star Wars celebration in California, I think.
That's where the trailer premiered, and then they also did the. You want to talk about the Battlefront trailer really quick too?
No, real quick.
Okay.
It was so popular that by the next day, which means someone probably stayed up all day and all night doing this. Someone re-released the trailer in Lego already. It doesn't look the greatest.
No.
However, the stop-go animation's pretty good. He didn't do the mouth movements.
Yeah, I think that this was just kind of like, I need to get this out before all the real people do.
So, Mr. Person that did the Force Awakens trailer in Lego, please go back and redo it. Take your time, because you're good.
Yeah.
Make it awesome.
Absolutely.
Make it fan-freaking-tastic. Edit it to the point where they can talk. Edit it so the motion's way smooth. I mean, all that stuff. Actually, and by the way, melt the Vader mask.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really do it.
If you have to buy another Lego Vader mask.
Yeah, when you watch this, you'll find out.
Yeah.
So so the next one, let's talk about Battlefront.
Yeah, so they also released on the celebration the next day, they released the trailer for the next Star Wars video game coming out, Star Wars Battlefront 3. I am a huge fan of Battlefront 1 and 2. I've talked about it on the podcast before, so I don't need to talk about it again. And this one just made it look even better.
I don't think I've ever played a Battlefront game.
It's so much fun. It's just death matches. It's just like first-person shooter death matches.
And I asked you this: does it have a good first-person or single-player storyline?
Yeah.
And if it does, that's cool, because I want to play a Star Wars game that's done really well.
Number 2 has a lot of good objective-based one, rather than just... here's a base storyline. Now let's get into the fight, and it's just a simple death match, Yeah.
So Battlefront 3 trailer came out, and it's not a cinematic trailer. They use the gameplay engine, so it actually looks like the game.
Yep.
And it looks really good.
It does look really good.
And there were a couple times where I was watching it, I was like, no. Oh, cool.
Awesome. I like the force field.
The force field is cool. The AT-AT in the forest was awesome. Because you've never seen them other than in Kolth.
Yes.
Why do they call it Hoth? They should call it Kolth.
They should call it Kolth.
Yes.
All right.
So, look.
Battlefront 2. Now that should have been...
Battlefront 3, you mean?
Or 3. Star Wars Force Awakens 2 should have been the end-all be-all. But for once, Warner Brothers took the show.
I at first I wasn't in agreement with you, and now that I look back at this whole week, I am in agreement.
Yep. So we got a 20-second teaser of Batman v Superman, which was a picture of Superman's costume
and a picture of
Batman's costume, and with a voiceover. And at first we were like, "That's exciting!
Yeah.
Can't wait for April 20th when it came out." But it's April 19th, and, well, somebody the next day...
Leaked it
online.
The full version.
Just, like, shot from a camera phone, but it destroyed the internet. And then Warner Brothers went, well, release it.
Yep.
So,
and holy crap. It gave me chills again.
It's all about Batman, first of all. Like... Actually, no.
It's all about Superman.
The first half is complete Superman and everything. Neil deGrasse Tyson's in it.
He does a voiceover.
He does a voiceover.
Yep.
And then it like cuts over to Batman, and then from then on it's like Batman, and it ends just so perfectly.
So good. And I like that they took some of their inspiration from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, because that is an amazing storyline.
Yep.
Granted, it is not canon. I found out that DC says that that is not a canon storyline. So when you're talking about who can win in a fight, Batman or Superman, that cannot be included.
Yeah.
Which I agree with, because it was Frank Miller. He said he wanted to do a side story. And they also said, even Zack Snyder said, that I looked at that as inspiration on how not to write Superman, because they didn't write the character correctly.
Yeah, they kind of made Superman out to be a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick in that. Which he's not. He's not. I mean, he is like the epitome of good in the DC comics. So
this was supposed to come out with an IMAX viewing, if I remember correctly, like a 15-minute, not like the first 15 minutes of the movie or anything, but just kind of a 15-minute event.
Yeah.
We're probably talking about the making of. They'll show some footage from that. But now that and then they would end it with the trailer. Well, now that the trailer's leaked, I think they said that the IMAX is going to have some extended footage and everything, just like happened with Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron got leaked, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was supposed to air the first trailer, came out with the lifting the hammer scene that was shown at Comic-Con.
Yes.
So, yeah. So great.
It looks amazing.
I cannot wait.
It looked awesome. Mm-hmm. Looks awesome.
We also got, again, this is just like the week for trailers, the Fantastic Four second trailer.
Yes.
Where you actually get to see everybody's powers, except for Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, you kind of see his, but...
You see maybe a second.
But, however, the funny thing is in the comics, I always thought that Sue Storm's powers were the worst.
Mm-hmm.
However...
I can't believe that you didn't look at Mr. Fantastic and see how ridiculous he was.
He's got some pretty goofy powers.
I mean, in the comic, when he's stretching and he's got his head like on the elongated neck and everything, I'm just like, that's so dumb. Why are we doing this?
That's an easy way to cut his head off.
Yeah.
But, well, and in the comic, he actually is pretty much bulletproof.
Yeah.
He's bulletproof, he's sword-proof.
Because he's a rubber man.
Because a bullet hits him and his skin just absorbs it and molds. Yeah. But we get the Fantastic Four trailer 2. You get a little bit more of you actually get the characters talking.
Yeah.
Because they never talk in the first one. It's just them doing stuff.
And you get to see a little bit more of the plot of what happens.
You get to see Michael B. Jordan being awesome.
You get to see Doom.
Yes. Which
we were so relieved to see Doom.
He's not just a stupid internet hacker.
Nope, he's full on Doom.
Which was that a prank? Was that them trying to trick us?
I don't know.
Or was that just the actor being a dumbass?
I think maybe it's part of his backstory. Like he's a hacker, and they get him on the project with them,
and then something happens with the energy. Yeah,
then he becomes.
But he looks awesome. The Thing looks amazing. Holy crap. Like, did you notice the amount of emotion they could put into his face?
Yeah.
He's made out of rock, but you could still be like,
you can tell that he's sad or when he's angry.
And the character they got for him, definitely the muscle.
Yeah, looks like him. I mean, he just looks like he's got one of those faces that's like, yeah, you've been beat up a lot.
Johnny Storm is his goofy, playful self, which I thought was awesome.
Yep.
And we get to see a little bit more of Sue Storm.
Yeah.
Doing stuff. We get to see her actually. She does fly through a pillar.
Yes.
With a force field
which
around her.
is so cool.
So it's cool that she can fly, and I hope that's just her flying and not just being thrown or something. So.
Like you said, it looks like she
curves
at the end there.
I don't know. We'll see.
So the trailer that we thought was going to be like the big news this week, and little did we know, but the Ant-Man trailer number 2 came out. And again,
another one,
just
another awesome one,
blow you out of the water.
You get to see her first look at Yellow Jacket in the suit.
You get to the first one was very serious. There was a little bit of comedy in there, like when he goes, "Huh," and everything from the first one, but there wasn't too much of it, and it got us a little worried because we're like, "Is it?" I mean, this is Marvel we're talking about here, but this one. Definitely, like you can tell that this is Marvel being Marvel.
This is great. I love this trailer. The end scene, they're fighting on a kid's train set and throwing the plastic train cars at each other and stuff, and it looks awesome. It looks epic for fighting, you know, an epic action movie, but it looks also on the same line hilarious.
And Scott, he can control ants.
He can control ants. There's one point where he runs up the barrel of a gun and up a guy's arm and punches him in the face, and the whole guy's head just like
when there's
sideways.
Nothing there.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It looks fantastic. Go watch it.
I want the poster from the movie theater for Ant-Man where it's just a white thing that says Ant-Man on the bottom, and you can barely see
teeny tiny.
Yeah, little teeny tiny man. I don't know why, but that okay. So we've talked about how stupid it is for art to be a picture of white or like a single black bar, but for some reason that like snags me, and I want it so bad.
Yep. This one you actually showed me. It was something I'd not seen. Another game trailer that we got. I mean, we talked about a couple in the past, and of course we've got Star Wars Battlefront that came out. This is Godzilla.
Now, there was an old GameCube game, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but you got to play as Godzilla or one of the other monsters, and you fought each other. You got to throw buildings at each other.
Rampage World Tour.
It was pretty much Rampage.
I love that game.
And this one seems a little bit of the same with updated graphics. You run around and you attack other giant monsters as a giant monster.
And it includes every monster ever from any Godzilla TV show, movie, book, whatever. And actually, a lot of them look really cool.
Yep,
Stuff that I'm like,
Godzilla,
oh, wow.
Mothra,
Rodan.
I don't think you saw Rodan.
What's the dual-headed dragon? One of the three-headed dragon.
I'm trying to think. It's not.
It's
not Trigak. It's not Trigak. That's from Order of the Stick. It's King Ghidorah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and there was also Mecha King Ghidorah as well, which is pretty cool. But it looks like a lot of fun, and there's a lot of city-destroying action. And there's even like some kind of weird Asian Ultron giant robot
Voltron.
guy.
I think you mean Voltron.
Ultron. Either way. So like I said, they've included pretty much any monster that's ever fought Godzilla at any point in time.
I hope Gamera's in there.
You even get old Godzilla and new Godzilla.
You even get the larva that becomes Mothra, by the way.
Yes, yeah, you can fight as the larva.
Which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, the first shot, you get to see old Godzilla and new Godzilla from the 2014 movie standing next to each other.
We also get our first look at, our first look at Inside Out.
It's the first clip.
Yeah, it's like the clip of the first day of school is what the clip's called. And it shows what happens inside the little girl's brain with all the different emotions, getting ready for school. And I'm
so excited for
I thought it was great.
movie.
I thought it was really funny.
Do you know what one of my favorite cartoon movies of all time is?
Oh, Osmosis Jones.
Osmosis Jones.
Yep.
I think that movie is this is fun.
Osmosis Jones for today's generation.
And I can't wait to see what happens with it. I've got all these predictions about what's going on, but because I always like to see if I can guess what the writers are, what direction the writers are going in.
My favorite thing about it, Lewis Black playing Anger.
Bill Hader is Fear, I think.
Okay, but Lewis Black, come on. I mean, he is like the epitome of angry. he is angry voice.
That's true.
He is angry voice. I thought it was great. Yep. So you've already heard our reactions to Star Wars just a minute ago, and I told Corey, I said, there's a video of Matthew McConaughey reacting to the new Star Wars trailer, and Corey goes, that's weird. Then I showed it to him, and it's cuts of... In Interstellar, when he gets back on the
backlog
ship,
of his,
he's watching like 20 years of backlogged video messages from his family that he had missed, and he's bawling his eyes out, seeing him grow up, and he's going crazy. And they cut that intercut with Star Wars, and it is hilarious.
It looks like he is having the best the best time watching the trailer. And after it's over, he like grabs the screen like, no, I want it back.
Yeah. Oh, and a meme is now born. Now every time there's going to be an awesome trailer, it's going to be Matthew McConaughey reacts to XYZ, and it's going to be that.
I saw a meme the other day from Star Wars, speaking of memes, it's an old meme, sir, but it checks out. Which I might have to use a few times.
And so we actually got our first trailer is it first trailer?
Yep.
For Justice League Gods and Monsters.
Which Batman vs. Robin came out this week, which we need to go get tonight, maybe.
Okay,
I have to figure it out.
Get it tonight. Watch it tonight.
Well, maybe.
Get it tonight. Watch it tonight.
It is technically my anniversary, so I have to
talk your wife into watching it. And he's recording on the show. That's what kind of husband he is, guys. Oh, come on! You already went and did all your stuff. Anyways,
but they usually release the trailer for the next one, and Justice League Gods and Monsters is going to be. I think there's going to be a 3-part miniseries with it too.
Okay.
But it looks great. It's an alternate Earth Superman who is Zod's son.
Yes.
And it is an alternate...
And he's wearing, like, the black Kryptonian garb.
No, he's actually just wearing, like, a trench coat.
But that's the Kryptonian garb. That's the trench coat thing where it's the long robes and stuff.
Oh,
and then he's also got a beard, which I really like Superman with a beard. I don't know. I'm reading the latest Action Comics, and
every time his picture comes up with a beard, you just like stroke it a little bit.
A little bit.
Wonder Woman's in there. She kind of just looks different. I don't know what the difference is with her.
Yeah, she's got like some kind of armor on, like crazy armor on,
silvery armor. And then Batman is in it because it's Justice League, so you got to have the big three. And he's Vampire Batman, which is incredibly.
Is he vampire?
Yes, he's Vampire Batman. Wow. It is incredibly exciting.
It looks good. It looks really good.
Go watch it. of course, we'll post all these.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll come out on Wednesday.
Yep.
Wednesday afternoon. So we got our second look, our first full look.
Our first full trailer, second
of the Attack on Titan live action movie.
Which,
first of all, it's all in Japanese. So, I mean, if you know Japanese, you probably know what they're saying. We didn't. Obviously, there was no subtitles or anything. So we had no idea what was actually being said.
Well, there were subtitles. They were just also in Japanese.
Yeah, there were subtitles, but they were in Japanese as well. So we didn't know what they were saying for sure. However, one thing I did like about it, I love the look of the Titans.
Yes.
They look creepy.
Like the cinematography on it, you're just like, those things are just...
Yeah. They look creepy.
Yep.
It looks action-packed. I'd imagine it's going to probably do either the whole first season in one movie or half the first season.
It looks like
movie.
it's going to do the whole first season.
We'll see, because the first season has a lot of stuff that happens in it that it would take a lot of movie to cover.
That's true.
So I guess we'll find out, but hopefully they come out with a English dubbed or at least have English subtitles on it, so we can kind of. I don't really want to watch.
Dubbed,
I don't really want to watch a movie where I have to read everything at the same time. It's okay occasionally.
Yeah.
Daredevil did it a lot with like the Russians and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, my friend Rob actually came and said that all those Russians. Totally native, no accents whatsoever.
Really?
So he said he was actually really surprised because usually in movies
they just get some American and say, "Hey, say this in Russian."
Yeah. So maybe all the Chinese and stuff in it as well was also native. I don't know.
Very good on Netflix if they did that.
We love the Avengers, and so does everyone else. Have you ever seen the show Family Feud? I'm sure you have.
I'm sure I have too.
Yeah, I know you have.
We've watched it together.
But Jimmy Kimmel had all the actors for the Avengers,
which was a fun time for everybody.
Yes.
They took over the entire show.
Yes.
It wasn't like, hey, let's do a monologue and everything. It was, no, Avengers all the way.
And he did a Family Feud game with them, and it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny. They suck at Family Feud.
Oh, they're terrible at it.
They're just
so
completely
terrible
awful.
at it. But I find that there are certain actors and actresses or whatever that they, in real life, they're not very articulate.
No, they're just kind of like...
They're really good on screen and they can act really well, but when they have to interview or talk or do something like this where it's, improvisation or anything like that, they're not really that good at it. And
Chris Evans,
for example,
I would say.
For example, some of this. I mean, even Scarlett Johansson, she's not that great of an interviewer and stuff.
So, yeah. They also did calls from people and everything, and one of the girls was like, "Oh, I think I know who the diva is out of you guys, but who is it?" And Scarlett Johansson was getting all offended, and they're all like, "Well, who do you think it is?" And she's like Robert Downey Jr. And Robert goes, "Get that off the stage, off the screen."
Yeah. And I was going to say an opposite example of this would be Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
the guy's a genius.
Yeah, he can.
Holy crap,
he can pull out all the stops for anything.
Anne Hathaway, everyone hates her, but she's brilliant even off the screen.
True.
So I don't know.
What I would like to say about this and all of the videos, you should go check out everything that Jimmy Kimmel put up for. The Avengers.
They're all really funny.
The best thing about it is every one of those people is having fun with each other.
Yes,
like they are just like a tight knit group of people who
none of you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell if any of them hated each other or not.
I mean, that could very well be their acting quality coming through.
It's possible,
but I think that we've got a very close group of people all together,
which makes for a better movie. If you notice, Idris Elba wasn't on there because he's probably terrible with everyone.
Well, he's not one of the main Avengers either, Scott.
No. So,
although I did notice that Jeremy Renner didn't say much. He kind of looks like
he's a pretty quiet guy, I think.
Yeah, I think he's either quiet or he's the one who's like, I could be much bigger than I am. I get to be second fiddle to these guys.
I know. Apparently, Age of Ultron, it's his movie.
That's what I thought. That's what I heard.
So we've talked about how it should have ended before. It's a great YouTube channel. You should go check it out. They animate how movies should have ended and make fun of them and stuff.
Pretty much in the title, people.
And this one is how it should have ended for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new one.
Yes.
And they basically kind of say, hey, you're copying Amazing Spider-Man.
Which they, you know what? Now
I did not realize. Yes,
but they are.
Yep,
completely
copied it.
So
it's pretty funny, hilarious. Go check it out. This one, holy crap!
Oh yeah,
This is another one of those.
I should have put this up higher.
Yeah.
because we got our second trailer, full trailer for Terminator
of
Genesis.
old Arnold being a robot,
Yes.
and holy cow, he's good.
The whole thing looks amazing.
Oh, it looks so awesome.
Which I've never gotten excited over a Terminator movie
I have not
before.
either. When the third one came out, and I was 14, I think, I was a little excited, but only because I'd watched the previous ones and I loved, T1000, T2000, the liquid dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, from the second one.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is Terminator Genesis trailer 2, and go watch it, people. Me and Corey, we watched it and we looked at each other and went, "Wow!
Can't believe that they're doing that."
That's awesome." And I'll tell you what, Arnold still got it.
Oh yeah,
and he's actually a lot better now than he used to be.
And he knows exactly what he is, and that's an old action star.
Yep.
And he acts like it.
Yep. And in this, he's hilarious. He does stuff in it that you're like,
You're awesome.
You're awesome. He fights himself, people.
He crashes through a cop window, and his face is sticking in through the window, and he goes, "Get out!"
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so good.
And we had one last trailer for you, and it's the Hateful Eight teaser trailer.
I'm sorry, Scott.
Hold on. From, what's his name?
Quentin
Tarantino.
And I'm sorry, it's been pulled.
It's been pulled. We don't know why. We don't know what happened. I don't think it was leaked. So, no.
We didn't actually get to see it.
We didn't get to see it.
So
no, we
that's
missed
very
it.
sad.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, you know what we do get to see? Our picks of the week.
Now, fantastic fools, you shall feel the wrath of Doom. Jeez, Doom, why the heck are you so grouchy all the time? Yes, the finishing touch. Now, the world will tremble when they look upon Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom, wait! The mask is not... Ah! Sweet Lord in heaven!
Oh, wait. The mask is upside down.
Hold still, Doctor. Okay, once more with feeling. Oh, you sons of... Ah!
Let us not delay.
Yes, the codpiece remains. What did you say, codpiece? Ah! Clark out, guys!
Oh, the codpiece is upside down.
What did you say? Ah!
All right, it's time to tell you what we've been geeking out about this week. And we're actually going to start with a fan submission.
Yes.
JR, fan of the show. Hi, JR.
Yep.
You have recommended that everybody go out and listen to Ready Player One. He's been kind of talking with us over the course of the week. He says that while it's awesome that it's going to be a movie, he would rather see like a Netflix series made out of it instead.
Yeah, and he said he loves the fact that you get to hear Will Wheaton's sultry voice reading to him, which is awesome. And we talked about Ready Player One a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, about of course the movie, like you said.
Yeah.
But it's based off a book, and the book is supposed to be really good. So.
And I've read the sample chapter. JR might be disappointed to know that I haven't finished it yet. Not the sample chapter. I finished the sample chapter. I just haven't finished the book yet.
We have obligations.
Yes, unfortunately. There's so much stuff that we do. I mean, I have so much stuff that I have to produce and everything. It's kind of hard during the week. But I want to talk to you about something that I really don't have to do much for other than plug and pay for.
and then spend a lot of money on.
Yes. So a little bit ago, I posted a picture on Facebook on our page.
It was more than a little bit ago. It was about 6 months ago, I think.
Of a Kickstarter that I funded and a bunch of gold, silver, and bronze or copper coins that I got in. I got some dwarf coins. I got some Japanese coins. Well, that was from a company called Fantasy Coin.
Yes.
And they're great. The coins are fantastic, and I've loved them, and if I ever play board games with anybody, I'm going to pull them out for point chips.
I think they look fantastic.
They look
I love
great.
that they're made out of real metal, so they actually have some weight to them, like a real coin would.
Yep.
I was very impressed with them, actually.
Well, they're back, Scott.
Oh.
They are back for a 2015 Kickstarter with a bunch of new sets of coins that you can buy.
Not only coins.
They've got coins. They've got small bars of gold. They've got a large bar of gold.
And platinum.
And they have platinum too.
There is a platinum bar.
I didn't
Yep.
see the platinum one. Yep. They're all supposed to be bigger and heavier, and feel more real and everything.
And the other thing that I like even better, and go ahead and
they have
gems.
They have multicolored, multifaceted gems, or Rupees.
Rupees.
You can get sets of rupees, which I saw that and I went, I'm funding this. And
Yes.
I ended up funding to get 10 different sets.
Almost every set.
Almost every set,
Yeah.
plus some bars and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a little pricey to do every set. You're looking, if you want to get everything, you're looking upwards of like $130.
It's $10 per set, basically. And they've got 13 sets now, I think.
13?
13.
Okay.
12 or 13.
They have credit chips for
sci-fi
stuff, which is cool.
That one and the one that they're shaped by like little triangles and they link together. Those are really cool.
The Forge Master coins.
Yes.
And they've got Goblin coins, which is really cool. They've got Cthulhu sets.
And the Goblin, I like the Goblin coins too because they're not perfectly round. Because
and they're all gold.
A Goblin wouldn't be very capable at making stuff, and so it's
They would
really
just,
jagged
like, hammer it
edges.
out
They kind of
and-
just hammer it into a rough shape and then call it good.
Yep.
Really cool. Really cool.
Every one of those sets.
I might have
is
to
pretty
get
amazing.
in on that as well.
And apparently I'm a dragon, so I want to collect everything that's gold.
Corey wants to hoard all the coins and stuff.
I have so many. I actually have a copper, silver, gold set of the Alliance coins for World of Warcraft 2.
Yes.
Which
You need the horde ones now.
I do need the Horde ones, and which are super expensive compared to the Alliance ones. Apparently, I also have the One Ring in my little. I have a shelf that's basically my Dragon Horde that I'll have to take a picture of and link to the Facebook page. But it's all my different Funko Pop dragons and everything, and all my different monies, fake money and everything. My wedding ring sits on there while I'm at work. I've got the Firefly cash just in a bundle on there.
Yes.
And I am super excited that I'm going to be adding 10 more sets and some gems, and yeah.
So, my pick of the week, I don't know if I've talked about this before. I don't think I have.
I don't think you have either.
So back in like the 50s and the 60s, they used to make these things called Nixie tubes. They were display tubes. They're almost like a small light bulb, but with multiple different filaments in it. And each filament spells out a number: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And so they were used in countdown clocks, date timers. They were used in all kinds of stuff. They are no longer made. However, they're still available, still out there. And people have been taking them and turning them into clocks, desk clocks. So you've got 3 sets of 2 for the hour, minute, and second, and then you usually have a small Nixie tube with little dots between it.
Okay,
and go back one actually, and scroll down just a little bit. It's that Maja RGB one right there. So I actually went and bought one of these, and because I found one, this is the cheapest I've ever found one, and this one has the Nixie clocks that give you the date and the time, and you can cycle between date and time, and you can also
that's really cool. That
24-hour time as well.
That looks like mad scientist laboratory.
Yeah. If you watch the trailer for Tomorrowland, on George Clooney's desk, he has about 8 of these in a row.
Oh, really?
And they all have some big countdown timer on it for something. And so it's kind of cool. Yes, it is like a mad science clock. It's like 1950s technology.
And if there's something we know about you, Scott, it's that you would love to be a mad scientist.
Exactly. And the one I bought actually has the ability to have color changing LEDs underneath each tube. So each tube will have its filament lit up, but then it can also have blue glow or green glow or something like that.
Cool.
The website is nixieclock.eu.
Nixie spelled like pixie with an N.
Yep.
Nixie.
Yep, clock.eu. It's actually one guy in Romania that makes these, and he makes them, you pay for them, he ships them out to you. In fact, I bought mine, and within the same day, he had already shipped it out.
Oh, wow.
So really, really good quality clocks, apparently, from the reviews, and he's actually really good at the shipment stuff. And
bet you...
That's what I've been geeking about this week.
I bet you he's going to have a lot more orders that are going to come in the form of people searching for Tomorrowland clock.
Possibly.
In a little bit.
Yeah, and if he's smart, he'll probably up the price a little bit, which is unfortunate. But
yeah,
there are other sites that do this as well, but they're more commercial, and I mean they're like $350.
I mean, this guy does it for $139.
This guy's under $150.
Yeah,
yeah. They range from anywhere from like $110 to $150. It depends on where he purchased the tubes and at what price he got on them, because the tubes are, like I said, they're no longer manufactured, so you got to buy them online. You got to buy them on eBay. You got to go find them from surplus stores. So I purchased the one that he had up, and at that time it was $139 as well. So,
Nixie clock
sounds expensive for a clock, but they're super cool, and they're kind of a neat. They're a really good timepiece, really good conversation starter. Someone walk in the room and go, "Wow, what is that? That's awesome!" Yeah. And it's got these glass tubes sticking up out of a base that have the numbers scrolling across them. So,
and
really
then
awesome.
So that's nixieclock.eu, and Fantasy Coin. You can just look them up on Kickstarter, which they are at 31,000 out of 45,000 for their goal. So they're almost at their goal, and they've got 27 days to go.
I might have to go get some of my own.
Good.
And you can search for those. Fantasy Coins and Bars is what you'd want to search for.
Which are all really cool. Well,
really awesome.
If you would like to tell us what you've been geeking out about, we will share it on the show. And you can send that to us in multiple ways. You can send us an email at actsofgeekery@gmail.com.
You can also go to facebook.com/actsofgeekery and leave us a message or a comment on one of our videos or posts, and we'll be able to put that up there.
Yep. You can go to twitter.com. We are at Acts of Geekery, or use the hashtag Acts of Geekery, and we'll try and find you.
Yep. And if you go to youtube.com, you can search for our page. It's just Acts of Geekery. We post all of our podcasts up there every single week. And we also post other videos. In fact, there's a new Hearthstone Let's Play video up there if you want to go check that out and let us know what you think.
Episode 2 is going to be coming soon.
Yep.
And you can also, if you want to download the podcast or subscribe or give us a review, you can go to iTunes and search for Acts of Geekery. Give us a 5-star review there, and that helps us get more prominent views on the page and more people finding the podcast, which is good for everybody.
Yeah, more of you listeners. We love it.
And those are all ACTS, not AXE. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Acts of Geekery podcast. Until next time, I'm Corey.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the Brothers Geek.
Keep geeking out.
Do you bleed? You will.